Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I thought I would do a bit of a chatty vlog and catch up with you all. So if you fancy a bit of that, then keep watching. I've actually been meaning to do one of these for a while, and I've had a few comments recently like, oh, you know, like I'd love to see another chatty update and stuff, which is so nice. But it's a funny one really, because sometimes I find these videos really hard to do. Like what have I got to say? What is on my mind at the moment? I think a lot of us are kind of lost for words at the moment with everything that's going on. And the news is really horrific, and it's just sort of hard, isn't it, to see that happening, the situation in Ukraine, and process that. And I'm under no illusion that, you know, this isn't happening elsewhere, because I know it is, and I know that a lot of people live with this kind of fear every day. But while you're aware of something and you feel a bit helpless and you don't know what to say and you don't know what to do, you almost feel guilty at the same time for living your life. The things that we kind of just expect as part of living where we do, we suddenly like bring into question, and we think like, God, like never actually appreciated how fortunate I am to be able to, like, you know, walk to the shops or take my kids to the park and all of that. And I think it can be quite difficult to witness it in one respect. I listen to the radio a lot, have it on a lot throughout the day, so I'm always updated, and you see things online and things like that, and you watch telly. Maybe not so much of me, I'm not really a telly person, but it's just sort of strange, isn't it, to then go about your daily life, and you don't want to forget about it, but you also don't want to waste any like second, really, if you know what I mean. And I think that it's a bit of an odd state to be in, because I'm so grateful to be here and now, but also I almost feel guilty that I am at the same time. And I think that must be hard for you know, a lot of us that we've lived in fear of COVID for the past 2 years, and then as things seem to in themselves be improving and getting better, and a bit of normality is resuming, and we're adjusting to that and realizing what it's like to actually live in a somewhat normal, healthy way. Now this is happening, and it just seems like the world is in a very sad place. And I wanted to address that at the start, because it's very easy to go into like loads of other details in these videos, and they always seem very self-indulgent every time I film one. I always say that, but I think it's worth acknowledging it. And also, like, if you're struggling right now and you know you're finding it hard, you're feeling very similar to me, as I expect you will be doing, I think that's okay, and I think that's normal, and I think it is okay that you still have moments of happiness throughout all of this. And well, we just got to hope that everything gets better. Putin's a knob. Anyway, where are we at? I have really, it feels like a bit New Year's resolution-y starting like this, but I have been so determined over the past year, I would say, or so, to really get better, to be honest. I wonder sometimes if you could see that I was struggling. I wonder if you knew, I wonder if you could tell, I wonder if I hid it well. I honestly don't know. But I've been trying for a very long time. It is no secret that like I've struggled with my mental health, and I was unfortunately one of those people who found that, you know, she was very affected by the last couple of years, and some elements, I suppose, and I hate this word because I feel like it's often misused, but I think some elements, especially the health aspects of the last couple of years, kind of were triggering for me. And then also just the social aspects. I really like humans. I really like people. I like animals too, obviously, but I just found that I couldn't function the same. And I think that there's been a lot of sort of unlearning pandemic stuff and then relearning stuff from the life before, if you know what I mean. Like, you know, just adjusting and feeling less afraid. Because I remember the first time that I had to go to the shops when we went into lockdown, and I ended up in tears because where I lived was so quiet, and you had to, like, you queued and stuff. I wasn't bothered about that, but it was completely irrecognisable. And sometimes I feel like I forget that. Whereas now, it's like, can you remember, like, we could only, like, go to the shop, like, once, like for a sec, do you know what I mean? Like, and now, yesterday, I realised it was pancake day, and I was like, crap, I don't have anything in for pancake day. So I bought some jam, and I got some lemons and stuff, and some eggs that were reduced, just because, like, you use so many eggs, and I could do that. Whereas, like, you know, last year and you know, most of 2020, like, if you didn't have stuff, you were screwed. That was it. You just made do. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with making do. Especially when it keeps people safe, but now it's just, gosh, isn't it nice? And I feel like I'm at that point now. I think we all reach a point with what we've been through when we feel ready to move on, or like we feel more comfortable, we feel like it's time. And I was someone that was quite frightened, never for myself, but for those that I love. And I would get so nervous over it all. And even, like, before Christmas, I was testing obsessively. I didn't even have any symptoms, but I was like, what if I'm asymptomatic and I kill people that I love, or like I kill somebody else's loved ones, and, like, just through COVID. I'm not like a, you know, closet mass murderer or anything. Like, I mean, like, COVID, oh my god, we've gone too far into that. Stop digging a hole. Can you imagine me? Like, I'd be the most useless villain going. That'd be awful. But yeah, and now I'm at a stage where, like, I'm remembering how nice it is to just do things, not even like big crazy things, because we've not been on, like, a family holiday for a couple of years or anything like that. And we've stayed relatively close by to where we needed to. The only exception really was for our honeymoon. And even then we chose to stay in the UK rather than go abroad, even though we were able to, just because we felt like it was the right thing to do. Will I come to regret that in a few years' time? Possibly. Did I want to swim with, like, sea turtles? Possibly, but I went to Bath, and Bath was great too. But yeah, I feel like now we went to the Trafford Centre and we played in the arcade last week with the kids when they were off Mark Butcher's day off, and it was not even like, it wasn't a wild crazy day out. It was just like slot machines and games and bumper cars and winning tickets and cashing them in for some squishy and some Mawam things, and it was such a simple day, but we had such a nice time. And then, like, we went out for dinner to Wetherspoons on Saturday night, when Wetherspoons is very, like, cheap and cheerful, but the one near to us is actually really nice. And we go there a lot with the kids because it's just very sort of relaxed, like, and it's very family orientated, the one near us, and it was just so lovely. We took double, and we played double, and we had a laugh, and we had a giggle, and the kids had a really nice time, and we walked home, and it felt like almost like a flashback in a way, like to when we used to do stuff like that. But it's been so long, and yeah, and I'm ready. Like, I'm not stupid or insensitive. I know how these things work, and I will always be making sure that I try and do the right thing. But it's been nice to start this year feeling more human, and it's been nice to start this year not just surviving, but like living. And I'm aware that sounds very deep, but especially for people, like, if you struggle with your mental health, you might know what I mean. Like, I feel like I've survived, and I existed for the most part, and I kept my family happy and safe and fed, and I homeschooled, and, like, I was the one that did the grocery shops, and they all stayed indoors, and, like, I did the best I could. and now I just feel like I'm moving on and I'm getting better, and I feel like I can see it in myself. And because I look back on some of my old videos, in fact someone commented and was like, I just want to say you look so much younger now compared to what you do in this video here. And I think it was maybe a video at the start of last year, or maybe sometime in 2020, and I clicked on it and like I look exhausted, I look so tired, I don't even look like myself, and it was quite clear that I probably wasn't taking care of myself either. And now I'm getting to a point where I am starting to feel better, and that is great. And I think that my family is benefiting from that as well. I don't want to make this a mental health chat, obviously, but like, I suppose when you're doing a chatty update, best place to start is with yourself. But yeah, I'm enjoying the sunshine. We have one day of sunshine this week, which is today. So I made the most of it by taking the dog out for a walk. Early this morning, we did a 4K walk, which was very nice. And he went swimming and got really muddy, even though we bathed him on Sunday. He's really coming into his own now as a big boy dog. I think when they enter that adolescent stage, I would say it's probably from about 9 months to 18 months or so, they can be a bit boisterous and a bit like all over the place, and a lot of things that they'd learned as puppies they kind of forget for the interim because they're just so excited about life and other dogs and sniffs and where we're going, and oh, this walk is so cool, and oh, I'm really hyper. And don't get me wrong, he's always been such a good boy, but I feel like he's starting to settle a little bit more now. And like this morning he like had run around on the field with a whippet with a stick, and like went for a swim and did lots of good sniffs, and it was just, honestly, it makes my heart sore watching him run around and look so happy. It makes me so happy. I'm really glad that I did that this morning, because a lot of the time we'll walk him at night because it's just easier with like work commitments and stuff. But I managed to get some work done last week during half term, and I just wanted to take the moment to enjoy the sunshine today because I needed it, and I just really wanted to get out, and it was great. So he's doing so well. He'll be 2 in August, which is a fair way off yet. But it's going so fast. I feel like it goes faster with him than it has done with the kids, especially when you're so mindful that dogs don't live long enough. They just don't, do they? The cats are really good. The cats are like weirdly more more attentive than usual and more interested. Although the difficult thing with our cats is that they don't really like each other all that much. They're both rescues. So I adopted Elsa and Gatsby. Gatsby, God rest his soul, got hit by a car, which was horrific. Elsa and Gatsby were brother and sister, and then we adopted Romeo, and they just haven't clicked as some animals do. But Elsa basically comes in all day, sleeps on the sofa, and then goes out at night. And then Romeo's just like in and out, in and out. He's been like, he was hunting something on the back garden earlier. I don't know what it was, but he was like, you know when they do that prowl. But that's been really nice because normally they're like dead antisocial. They've always been like that. Gatsby was super friendly, but those two have always been quite like indifferent, you know, that type of cat. You know exactly what I mean, don't you? But yeah, so they're good. Stanley is going to be 4 in less than 2 weeks, and that hits hard. I was talking about it to my grandma, actually. We were talking about, you know, like what does he want for his birthday and this, that and the other, and just chatting about it. And grandma was like, I can't even believe that he's going to be 4. It feels like it's gone too fast. And I said, to be honest with you, I think it's COVID, because just as lockdown was sort of announced and coming, he just turned 2. So it's kind of like, when I remember normal life, I've said this before, he was 1 and he was very much a baby and then he just turned 2. And when I think back to a time where this mass of his life, where everything's been all muddled and messy and scary and you know, and very difficult, like if I take that out, I can only remember like life with him as a baby, normal life with him as a baby, whereas now it's like, oh my gosh, we'll get back into normal life again, but whoa, you're not a baby, you're nearly 4. He loves superheroes, he loves drawing, he loves his mummy very, very much, and his daddy very, very much. He's a very, very cuddly, affectionate, sweet little boy. He's my shyest child, but the one that comes alive the most at home. Like, he's just hilarious. But very much like his dad, he kind of keeps that silly side under wraps for his favourite people, and it's actually a joy to be one of their favourite people, because they're just both such beautiful people. How many times can you say people, Charlotte? But yeah, he's just himself. He'll be starting school in September. I'm not ready for that. I will miss him very much. I know that he goes to preschool a few days a week at the moment, but the 2 days that we have, I really, really appreciate them. I had a few kind of comments from like family members, and even Mark at some points when work's been really busy and I've had to work like evenings and weekends and this, that and the other to sort of make things happen. A few people said to me, just put him in more, put him in like preschool more, because he loves it and it'll be like easier then for you to get work done. And I was like, I don't want to. I don't want it to be easier. Plus my job's very up and down. Like, I have really busy periods where I feel really overwhelmed and I can't keep up and I work every second I can, and then I have quiet periods and you just have to run with that. And I would just feel awful if I had a quiet week and he was in preschool. I don't want that time. I don't want time for myself. I want time with him while I can still have it. So I still really look forward to those days, and it's just crazy to think that they're coming to an end. I don't know if you've got like a little baby, maybe you've got a little baby asleep on you right now, maybe they're having a nap upstairs, or you've got younger kids. Don't get me wrong, it's bloody hard, it's exhausting when they're little. Really, really tiring, physically tiring, mentally draining. And then they grow up, and don't get me wrong, when they grow up, it's a different kind of tired. It's like, you lose your evenings because they've got clubs, and you lose your weekends because they've got friends and parties, and it's busy. You feel like you're always in the car driving people places, or you're always checking calendars or rummaging around in school bags for party invites and all of that. And there's World Book Day and there's PTA discos and all of this, that and the other. There's so much to remember, but it's busy and it's hard, but you miss them. Like Bill as an example, he's coming up to 10, and if I'm honest, I'm already sort of leading him to his own world, which is fine and healthy and normal, and that's what happens as they get older. But he's getting to a stage where, and I remember it, where your friends soon become like everything. And you just want to be with your friends, you want to hang out with your friends, you want to talk to your friends, you want to like play Fortnite with your friends, you want to do this with your friends. And like family becomes less of a focus as you get older in that period of life, which is, I remember thinking like, I had to go to stuff sometimes as a teenager, and I used to think like, I just want to go to that party, I want to hang out with my mates, and I can't believe I had to go to this instead. And we've all been there, and I know it's normal, but I can remember Bill being 3, and now he's not, and it just goes so fast. It's so fast. And I think that because Stanley's my youngest and I'm obviously not going to have any more children, I think it's just kind of very, I don't know, so it's a big moment in our lives as parents too. It's a huge moment for him, and it's very much about him growing up and him starting on his little adventure at school and all that. But I think it's definitely hard as parents because you're so ready to watch them fly and you want them to do great things and be happy and have loads of friends and all of that. But also at the same time, you're just like, God, I'm gonna miss you, kid. And selfishly, I'm going to miss being your world. I'm going to miss being your best friend. And that is honestly where I'm at the moment. I feel like I'm so excited for him. I am sad. I think that's normal and it's okay. And I've seen it with the other two. We've still got fab relationships. And the joy with Bill is that I'm able to talk to him more and have like proper conversations and stuff. And he gets my sense of humour, and like, I'm able to learn more about his thoughts and feelings on the world. And then Daisy is just she's just so sweet. She's so lovely, and like family, especially at the moment, it's like reliving little Charlotte. Everybody says we're very, very similar, just with our personalities. She's very sensitive. She's very like caring, very empathetic, very in tune with other people, very thoughtful. She remembers things and she notices things that you wouldn't expect a child of her age to notice. I was editing some work last night and I have an app that I use for reels and things like that, and I was finishing off some brand work, and she's so proud of me. All of the kids are so proud of what I do, and they're so supportive of me, and she likes to watch sometimes because like that's just the way she is. And this app on my old phone, which was dying to death, would always crash, and I got to saving on my new one, which I'm loving, by the way, and it was at the saving bit, and there's a little bar that goes across, and obviously a bar fills up, and then when it's full it's done. It's just like, you know how long it's going to take. And she, as it got to that point and the bar was moving up slowly, she just goes, "Oh, please don't crash." And I just thought it was really funny that she remembered that from other times that she's seen it, and she was like really hoping it doesn't crash from her mum. And I don't know, she's lovely. Like, we went to the library during half term and she chose 6 books. She's read 5 of them, and when I say books, they're not picture books. They're like, one of them is a Jacqueline Wilson book. She's 5 years old, and she's just, I was exactly the same. She's just brilliant. She's such a great advocate for herself as well, like with her hearing aids and her glasses and everything that she has thrown at her sometimes, which I know can't be easy because I've walked that path myself before. Like, she's just such a positive and sweet little kid, and I'm so proud of them all. I really am. I'm like, oh God, I love them so much, and I'm so glad that we've got through the last couple of years, and I really hope to give them like a good year this year. We finally committed and booked a holiday. We've actually booked like 2. One's a little thing and then one's a holiday abroad, which is huge, like, for us, because I always said to Mark I didn't want to go away until I felt like it was safe and right thing to do, but also the next time we went on a holiday, I didn't want to take it for granted, and I really wanted to enjoy every second of it, and I didn't want it to be overshadowed with too much concern around COVID and things like that. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy to wear masks and all of that. I'm so happy to do that if I need to. I understand that different countries have different restrictions still in place, and that's fine. But I no longer feel too concerned anymore, and I just really wanted us to go away and have a nice time. We're just going to Mallorca, nowhere fancy, nowhere with too long a flight, because we're conscious of the fact that Stan in particular hasn't flown since he was 1, and it'll be quite a new experience for him, because I don't honestly think he'll remember, and we'd rather just keep it short and sweet and just have a nice time. Totally got a kids club there. We've totally gone for like a hotel that is fully catering to the kids, and if the kids are happy, we therefore will be happy, particularly if they have Aperol Spritz on the menu, because I love that cocktail. But we're so lucky to be able to go, and I think that they're going to absolutely love it. They're going to really, really enjoy it, and I can't wait for that. And then we also are going to go away like in the half term and stuff as well, just like in the UK, just because we haven't done that in so long, and Mark especially loves a holiday. He loves a holiday. I've got Mark and Suzanne, like, she's my best friend. She loves a holiday. We're like, they are so similar, and then me and her husband are so similar. We're all like opposites attract in a way, do you know what I mean? And they're just so the same. They like love sunshine, they love trips out and like holidays and stuff, and I'm quite content wherever I am, to be honest. But he's really excited, and he deserves that. He's worked his arse off. He's had some real up and down moments with work over the past couple of years. It's been really difficult, like all sorts really. I mean, like at the time we didn't even say it, but at one point he was up for redundancy in 2020, and that was really difficult. And yeah, a lot has gone on. Like, he's had to completely change his work setup, and works mostly from home now in the office. I decided that I don't really like the office because I prefer like I work in here in the kitchen because I like light and big open spaces, and it works easier for me with like the kids and the way I work. So he's in there, and that's hard for him. Like, he's travelled to Manchester every day and had that commute, which wasn't the longest in the world, but it definitely took a big chunk out of his day. And while that was a downside and he spent less time with the kids, he also had the ability to feel like a person in himself, like go out and grab something for eat in Manchester, nip out and like run some errands in Manchester if you need to, like see his colleagues, bump into people that he knows. Whereas now, that's not the case for him. And don't get me wrong, like he helps out with school runs. He does the 2 mornings a week where he drops them off because he says he wants to feel more a part of the community at school, because previous to that he'd never been able to, and he loves that. He gets more time with the kids, he doesn't have to travel as much and all these things, and that's great. But also at the same time, like, he now very much operates from this house, and while I'm used to that, and I made the choice to do the job that I do and work the way that I do, whereas for him it's obviously been a big adjustment, and he doesn't necessarily have the flexibility that I have either, so it can be a lot more pressure on him. Hopefully, like, he would like a mix, I think, where some days he goes into the office and some days he doesn't. But he's just trying to work that out with work at the moment and how that's all going to fit in. And the best part is that we're able to see his family more, and he's able to see his friends more, and like the football started up, and I'm so happy for him. Like, he's going there at the weekend and stuff, and I think that is just all I want for him. Like, I love him so much. He's just my best friend. We have such a laugh together, and like, even before he was in here just on a break while he was getting his lunch and stuff, and like came over and chatted to me, and he was making me laugh, and he gave me a hug, and don't get me wrong, like, it's so nice to have this time together. I'm also really happy for him that he's able to do the things that he needs for himself too, because I'm lucky. Where we're stationed has always been my neck of the woods. Like, my family and my friends are all around me, so when things relaxed I was able to see them a lot more quickly than he was. And you know, part of loving your partner, isn't it, is like, is seeing that they need time for themselves too, and they need their friends, and they need to be like a bloke and chat football and get a pie at half time and all that stuff. So that's what he's doing this weekend, which will be lovely. I actually quite enjoy like one-on-one days with the kids anyway when it's the weekend, because it's just like I can just get on and do my own thing, and then when he comes back it's always a nice happy reunion, isn't it? But yeah, we're just, I don't know how long this video is. Does it even say? 27 minutes long? Jesus Christ. But yeah, this year for me, I'm just hoping that I can keep working hard with work. As I mentioned before, I upgraded my phone. I got the iPhone 13 Pro Max or something, which is so much better than my old one. My old one was a few models back, and I'm really enjoying it because it's actually really useful for work. I am making like little mini vlogs over on my Instagram at the moment, and they're very short and sweet, and it's not so much talking, it's just tiny little second snippets from our day, and I've been really enjoying that, because it's a really instant way of sharing an insight to my life, and I actually don't feel like I have to be anything other than myself so much. I don't, it's hard to describe it. I think when you do a vlog on YouTube, sometimes there's so much time to fill. People, I suppose, like, expect longer videos on here, and I feel more like I have to entertain you, and be good enough and be perfect. And you know, it's funny with the online world, you obviously, technically, if you were going to call me something job-wise, you call me an influencer, and that's fine. I prefer like content creator, because like my purpose is to make content that people enjoy. I'm not really out to influence so much. It's why I don't do like affiliate links. If I recommend something to you, it's because I actually think you'll like it. I don't, there's like a very fine line. And then if I work with brands, it's because I'm either really interested and I want to give it a go, or again, I think it's got some sort of like link where I think it would be useful for other people before as well, or like I've used it before, so therefore it's a really good fit. And like the amount of stuff I turn down these days is like, some of the requests you get, you're just like, no. And even the other day I got a really good job come through, which would have been perfect, except for the fact that I really like low pack. And this is so random. I really like low pack. That's what I buy a lot, unless I'm doing, say, baking, and sometimes I'll buy stock or like those little pats of butter because they're easier to bake with. But I really like low pack. I buy it a lot, or I buy like the cheaper dupe version from Tesco or Aldi or whatever, depending on what's on offer. But I really like it. I think you know that if you watch my grocery haul. And it was an amazing job to do with like Mother's Day and cooking and baking and stuff, which is really stuff that I love. But it was with a competitive spread, and I couldn't say yes because I don't use that spread. Do you know what I mean? So that's as simple as it is sometimes. But it was really annoying because I would have loved to have done the work, but just with low pack. So low pack, if you're watching this, let's do some cooking together. No, I'm only joking. But yeah, so yeah, I just want to keep doing well at my job. Keep enjoying myself, keep being myself. I don't want to, at this point I was getting at, while I am an influencer by name, that doesn't mean I'm immune to the online world. It doesn't mean that I don't compare myself in the mirror to other people. It doesn't mean that I don't compare myself as a parent to other parent. It doesn't mean that I think I'm too ugly some days, or think I'm too fat on other days, or think I'm useless, or doesn't mean that I don't get insecure, doesn't mean that I don't have bad days. I just don't talk about them because I don't like to do that. And I think I bought into the idea of perfection over the years out of fear of not being good enough, and out of fear of being judged, and out of fear of just, you know, sometimes you can unintentionally bring out things in other people. And it's really interesting because as someone who puts herself out there, I'm only putting one version of myself out there, which is the same version of me that everybody else sees. But the way you interpret that is on you. So everybody's perception of each other is different, in the same way that I would perceive you in a different way to somebody else, based on my life experience, based on my belief, based on my judgment, based on my personality and feelings and emotions and all of that. And I think I got to a point where I felt like I had to be everything to all types of people, and realistically that's not possible, and it's actually quite exhausting. And I think especially when you're battling your mental health as well, you lose yourself. So this year for me is about just stripping it back, because I'm not perfect, and like I never will be. It's completely unattainable. I have strengths. I like to clean. I'm good at cooking. I'm trying to think of other things I'm good at. It's slim. I can draw. I can sing. I like interiors. My taste might not be yours, but I like it. I like the way my house looks and the way we've done it. We've done a good job. I like big dogs. Some people like little dogs, but I like big dogs. All these different things. I just want to be more myself, because I realise in trying to protect myself by being perfect and unreachable and untouchable, that doesn't protect you either, because it puts across this idea that you should be like that, or like I'm something that you're not, and we're all the same regardless of what we do. I'm lucky, I'm privileged, more so than others, less so than others. It completely depends on the people, but we're all trying to do our best. And especially after the last couple of years, I just want to be a decent human being and do a good job, live my life the way I believe is best for me and my family, and live it so hard, because I've missed living after COVID, to be honest. And that is really all I have to say today. So again, thank you for my TED talk. Sorry to have kept you for 34 bloody minutes, coming up to 35. But a few people did ask for it, and it's actually really nice to talk to you, because I kept going, and then eventually I realised that actually I do have stuff to say, and I would like you to see what's underneath the grocery hauls, or the the vlogs or the hauls or anything that you see, or the selfies or the endless stories of my dog, because there is a lot more to me than that, I suppose. But yeah, I hope you're okay. I realise it's been quite like a deep and meaningful video, and you probably really should have got yourself a drink at the start. I'm parched. Gonna finish my juice. But have a lovely day. Remember that you're not on your own. Regardless of how you feel, there's always someone out there that will relate and understand that. And I hope you're okay. I hope you're doing okay. Really proud of you for getting through the last couple of years. I'm sure you're trying to work out what this year means for you. And you know what? It doesn't have to mean much apart from just being a little happier and doing a little more of the stuff you love. And that's okay, that's good enough. And I am going to bid you adieu because we're now on 36 minutes and that's tragic. I don't know if I can edit this down either. So I will see you very soon. Thank you so much for watching. If you got to the end, post a picture of an aubergine emoji just for kicks. Loads of love to you, and I will see you all very, very soon.